You're going to make $1,000 this week, and this is going to be how you do it. Pay attention, please take notes. I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Arlan. I was homeless a little over 10 years ago. Now I have invested in more than 200 companies, and I teach entrepreneurs how to make money fast, but in a calm way, and how you can do it too. So I want to make sure that you understand this is what our goal is. We're going to focus, we're going to make some clear decisions, and we're going to tell ourselves we can do this. If you tell yourself you can't do it, if it's for someone else, you're already out of the game, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to make the first decision. The first decision is going to be, are we going to try and sell something for $1,000 to one person, something for $500 to two people, or something for $100 to 10 people? What we're not going to do in this case, because of time constraints, is try to sell 100 things for $10 each to 100 people. One thing for $10. And unless it is a bump sale. Now, a bump sale is a very special way of selling. It's one of my favorite ways of selling. And what you do is you set the price at $1, and then every time someone purchases, they pay $1 more, and the next person pays $1 more than that. So by the time you have sold about 45 products, so $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, all the same thing, when you get to 45, you've made about $1,000. Now, if you're interested in that, I have another video that explains it, and I have the link in the description below so you can get into that. But we're going to focus on these things, which are going to probably be our easiest. You can give this a try, because I know a lot of people who have tried this out, and I have made thousands and thousands of doing it. But these are going to be the fastest and the clearest to do. So what is something that you can sell for 1,000? Well, you could sell something that you hand to somebody. You call it a done for you. It's a done for you service. You hand them the finished product, and you give them a little bit of guidance. So maybe you have one or two 45-minute calls with them about it, maybe one at the beginning and one afterwards to consult them. So you could make this like a VIP day where they get a lot of your attention and they get done for you service. You treat them like royalty for the day. You have a call with them to kick things off, to get the information they need. Maybe you send them something in an email if that's easier for them. And then you deliver it, whether that's a website or some sort of audit that can give them a breakdown of what they need in their business. For instance, you could go in, if you learned a little bit about AI, and say, hey, these are the four different AI systems that I would install, and this is how you use it, this is how much it costs. Walk them through that and help and offer to set it up for them. And that could be a VIP day for a small business. There's so many different things you could do. You could teach somebody how to dance. You could teach somebody how to crochet. You could teach someone all sorts of things, or hand it to them, right? The VIP day, you're just handing them what they need. Also, could be something that you make for them, like a piece of clothing. It could be that you deliver edited videos. Now, speaking of, 500 times two people. So this could be a done for you, but less hands-on, less consulting. So just something that you hand, okay, something that you hand over, you hand it over to somebody, it's already finished. But if you think about editing a video potentially, one of the things I want you to think about is that you don't necessarily have to deliver everything that you sell. I'm not saying that the person doesn't get what they paid for. I'm saying that you are not the only person in this equation necessarily. What you could do in the case of editing videos, for instance, is you could put a package together where you have edited videos, one or two of them, something to that effect, maybe something that you add on to it, and then you go on to Fiverr or go on to Runner, which is my fractional company, or you know someone, and they actually do the work and hand it to you, and then you hand it to your client, because you are essentially then marketing, sales, you're doing operations, you're doing all the logistical pieces, you're packaging it, but you don't necessarily have to deliver it as a person who created it. Does that make sense? I want you to let me know in the comments right now If that has struck a nerve with you, something interesting with that, because most times when we teach this, we talk about what you need to do, what you need to do. But what if you could focus on promotion and sales for the next couple of days, then you could have, and you had somebody who was standing by to deliver. Let's say somebody pays you $1,000, you pay them 400 to deliver it because you're going to wrap it with all this consultation and other stuff. Then it opens up the aperture of what you actually can accomplish because you don't have to necessarily be the painter if you're selling paintings. You don't have to necessarily be the website developer if you're selling websites. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense and if you're going to give that a try, you think, if you've never thought of it that way. And let me know in the comments too if you're ready to see what you're supposed to do every single hour for the next 48 hours. I can break it down for you if you let me know in the comments. Say, yes, I am ready to see that. 48 hours. Okay. And then this one, $100 times 10. What I recommend for this is a one-on-one call. Now we teach this, I teach this inside of my free group. It's called Your First 5K. We call it YF5K for short. And you can find the link to Your First 5K right now in the description and pinned post below this video. We have more than 15,000 people in it. By the time you see this, who knows how many people will be in it. And 12,500 of those came in the last 45 days. That is remarkable. So why they're in there is because I teach this one, a very deep dive. I teach this one in a 5-day challenge that is free, how to take a $100 offer and sell it to 10 people. So that could be a one-on-one call. It could be a couple other things I teach you how to do that inside of it. But if you want to think about the simplest path, because you're trying to do this fast, right? Simplest path is you're selling consultation. You're selling, let me get you on a clarity call. Let me do this thing. Let me have a clear, quick transformation for you in a certain period of time. Now, here's a really important part of this that I want everybody to understand. You can sell this today, tomorrow, this week. That does not mean that you have to deliver it all today, tomorrow, this week. You could say when you're selling it, you get this within 5 days. You get this within 24 days, right? You can set that tone, be transparent up front, and you're selling it now, you're having them pay for it now so that you're getting that upfront capital and you're making stuff happen. Now be honest and deliver. And if there's any kind of delay, let people know immediately. But there shouldn't be a delay because we're not building anything new necessarily with this. Like we're going to do what we already know how to do. Okay. If there is a delay, let's say you're making a website for someone on Lovable. Lovable is an AI platform that I use that I teach here on YouTube. You can go look at other videos. And let's say you're doing that and you're running into some trouble. You didn't take my advice and hire somebody to help you deliver. You kind of go back and find somebody to help you. Get right on that email and tell your customer, hey, I know I told you it'd be ready and by Friday, but it's actually going to be by Monday. And here's $100 towards your next thing. Something to make it up to them. Okay, so I heard you in the comments say that you want to know what to do step by step, hour by hour. And I'm going to show you that because it's one thing to tell you what to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm also going to show you step by step your next decision. So we made one decision, which is what are we going to charge, the pricing. What decision did you make? Let me know in the comments. Then we made another decision of what are we actually going to deliver? What is our transformation going to be? And we'll get a little bit more in the weeds there when it comes to that. So for your first 1 to 6 hours, the first thing you're going to do, so 1 to 6 hours in. Let's say that's starting now. Once this video is over, you're getting going, okay? So what are you going to do the first 1 to 6 hours? Well, the first thing you need to do is get really clear on what it is you are offering. So you're going to answer this question. I help, or fill in this sentence. I help X achieve or get Y within Z time. I help salon owners get a better website within 5 days. What is yours? Fill yours out here if you can in the comments. I would love to see what you come up with. And then if you put yours, everybody else will see it and they'll get some ideas too. There's 8 billion people in the world, so they're not going to steal your idea. And even if they stole it, there's so many people you could sell it to. You might get some inspiration. If you are not subscribed, I want you to subscribe. You see me slowing down because I'm trying to make sure I'm spelling it correctly. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Okay, for the first 1 to 6 hours. And then you're going to also, in that time period, define your deliverables. Deliver what? So you're going to help salon owners have a better website within 5 days. Your deliverable could be a phone call, because you might be selling $100 calls. So that call could be a salon, clarity call, or a profit call or something. Your deliverable could be a done for you, so it could be the website itself. Is it a call? Is it a website? Is it a certain meeting? You're doing a VIP day, you're going to meet up at the local co-working that you all know. Is it an audit? Is it a 50-page workbook? Right? What is it? What is your deliverable? This is what you're figuring out the first 1 to 6 hours. But this is so important here. What are you helping people do in what amount of time? And this part, don't forget the what amount of time. Because the what amount of time, I'm going to take a picture of this or write it down. I'm going to erase it. Because the what amount of time, or pause, the what amount of time is incredibly important, because you want to be able to use that to get customers. We talk about having a painkiller offer. What is a painkiller? Think about the last time you had a headache. The last time you had a headache, may even be happening right now. What do you want? You want medicine. You want it's gone. You want it solved. Think about the last time you thought about vitamin D or E. You probably were presented with that, but you don't think about it on a day-to-day basis unless you have a severe deficiency. And would be nice to have a vitamin handed to you. It would be nice to have that. But a painkiller is something I'm going to pay for, something I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to pay for it in money, and I'm going to give you my attention because I want to be out of pain. So if you can say to the salon owner, let me get you this better website, they may say, I don't really need it. But if you say to them, let me get you this better website because I have been tracking your sales, or tracking the sales of salon owners over the last 17 days in the country, and they've dipped by X%, and it's due to leaky websites, people going to the website and falling off because it doesn't have these 3 things that I'm going to give you. It's not presented the right way. In other words, you tell somebody that they're losing sales or that they're missing something, they're going to pay attention to you. So you want to have that number of win. Now, from hours 6 through 24, you're going to present, basically. You're going to get your proof and you're going to pitch it. So you're going to make your proof is going to be something like, let's call this proof and pitch. Okay, so your proof could be like a paragraph that you write. It could be a whole lovable page. And if you don't know what lovable is, again, I have videos about it where I teach you how to make them. I have different AI prompts to help you just create a page really easily. But honestly, if you go to lovable.co, you spell it like this. I'm sorry, not co, dev. Lovable.dev. And you just type in what you want it to look like, you'll get very far. It could be something on Stan. I love Stan Store. I've made more than $300,000 on Stan in the last few months alone. Stan makes you don't need a lovable page if you have Stan. You can take your paragraph and put it on Stan. Basically, it's a place where people can buy from you. And you're going to put some stuff on it though. You know, I have my Stan OS, which is my Stan operating system. And this is $99. And what this does is, Stan is like the storefront, right? Stan OS, which is mine, this is owned by somebody else, it's a multi-million-dollar company. Stan OS is mine. And what it does is it gives you all of the copy, all the words you need to put on your landing page. It helps you create your products. It helps you create lead magnets that you give out for free to get people to give you their email addresses so that you can keep talking to them. It teaches you all about Stan, and there's training, there's all kinds of stuff. But you can have it on Stan and other ways. So this is your proof. You're gonna say what it is you do, how you've helped somebody else in the past with it or helped yourself with it, and you're gonna articulate it. Another way that's gonna help you in these 6 to 24 hours later, so a day later, you're gonna have all this. You're gonna head over to Chat GPT and have a word with it. You know, you're going to talk to it, say, look, use some of my language. Say, Arlan is telling me that I need to get some proof in a pitch. I need to get a paragraph, a lovable page, a stand page. I need to do something. How do I do that? How do I explain and articulate what I'm offering? Another thing you could do is you could go to Your First 5K, which is linked in the description. This is absolutely free. I have a full training about how to do all of this. This is just an introduction to it. I have a training that teaches you how to do all of this inside of Your First 5K. When you go to Your First 5K, which is linked below, oh, it's also in the, if you're on your TV, you could just put your phone up to the, you take your photo out and you can get the link in the, I think it's right here. I think it's right there. And the QR code. But once you're there, it's going to ask you, where did you find out about Your First 5K? Tell me this video. Say the name of this video. I said, Arlan said to come here from this video. Okay, so this is what you're doing. And in this 24 hours, if you're trying to get there fast, the 5-day challenge, you actually can take it a little bit faster than 5 days. You don't have to. And I, in fact, recommend you take it 1 day at a time. But you could speed things up if you want to get hyper into it. You know what I mean? It depends on how much you need that $1,000. How fast do you need $1,000? If you don't need it immediately, then you're going to take your time a little bit and you're going to learn what you need to learn, but you're going to implement. Okay? So then hours 24 through 48. This is 24 through 48 is your close. And do I have my whole belly hanging out? We'll see. Collect, segment. Essentially day 2 of a 2-day situation. You're going to close and collect. So you've been pitching. Now you say, who did I pitch to? Days 2 and 3 in the 5-day challenge. And Your First 5K teach you everything you need to know, gives you scripts, AI prompts, everything. But you're going to be talking to, in the pitch section, you're going to talk to former clients, and you're going to talk to current clients. Former and current clients are where people miss out the most. You're like, oh, they already bought from me. I don't need to go back to them. I need to find new people. Let me tell you something. The most money you're going to ever make is going to be from the people who have already bought from you. They already bought from you once. As long as you follow through and help them, they may be willing to buy again, and usually they are. It just has to do with how you pitch it and articulate it. You're going to talk to your warm contacts and open up your phone. It happens every single day inside of your first 5K. Somebody comes in and they're like, I can't do that. Day 2 and day 3, get to day 3 where I teach them how to open up their phone, essentially. And they're like, oh my God, my friend from high school just paid me $100. Not because they felt bad for me, but because they needed what I had to offer. And if I hadn't offered it, that they would have never known. Let me tell you this right now. And while I'm telling you this, make sure you are subscribed. You want to make sure that that's happening. If you don't help your target audience, your customer, somebody else will. If you don't help your target audience, somebody else will. They may charge them more. They may charge them for less quality. You can't control any of that. What you can control is how much energy and effort and intention you put into getting that in front of people. I'll give you a quick story about this. I just went to New York and Atlanta, and about 100 people showed up to each. So 200 people. And I gave about 2 weeks notice. So I was pushing stuff. I pushed stuff on YouTube. I pushed stuff on email. I told my audience inside of your first 5K and other, and Instagram. And most people would be like, I can't post that much about this one thing because it's too much. After it, we're in February now. It happened in January. I have so many messages from people who said, you were in Atlanta? I missed you. I didn't know it. Why didn't you post anything? You were in New York? Oh my God, I live right around the corner from that. Because it's up to you to post as much as possible. I got the 200 people there, but I probably could have gotten twice or 4 times that if I post 2 to 4 times more than I even did. So your job is to put food on the table. Your job is to put food on the table. You're not going to spam people. You're not going to harass people if they say no or if they're not responding to you, but you are going to put yourself out there. Okay? Now, what does it mean to close? Now, collect, you probably understand, is pay me, get the money. But what does it take to close? This is day 4 inside of the Your First 5K 5-day challenge that 15,000 people are taking. Let me tell you one word. Ready for the word? One word is all it takes. Conversation. In order to close, you're going to have conversations in various forms. That could look like DMs with people who are interested. That could look like text messages. It could look like 15-minute calls. It could look like a group webinar. But you're going to have a conversation, a back and forth with someone who is interested. Somebody, you post about this on your Instagram and somebody likes it, somebody else comments. Get into the DMs with them. Thank you for saying hi. If you have Stan Store, you can actually set it up where you say, hey, comment this one word, and it automatically sends them a message. But you don't need all that. You can start this right now. Just manually DM them. If they liked something about your offer, liked it or commented, just send them a message and start a conversation. You can even do audio. Inside of the Your First 5K 5-day challenge, on day 2 or 3, I think it's 2, I recorded an audio of me leaving a message for somebody in the Instagram DMs, and I gave you the audio so you could see how it is. Get on text messages with people you know, and get on a 15-minute call if that's what it takes. There may be some people who are like, I actually want to do an hour-long call with you, but I have a couple of questions. And that's okay early on. You're not going to do this forever. But early on, say, look, let's jump on a 10-minute call. I'll answer a couple of your questions, and then we'll book on that call, we'll book the $100 call. You don't have to call it the $100 call, but you see what I'm saying? We'll book your clarity call on this one. In answer to a questions of theirs. So they keep asking questions. Say, look, I've answered a few questions for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it up to you now. If you'd like to continue working together, I'd be happy to. I do think I can help you, but you are going to have to go ahead and book. That's what it is. So if you have 20 of these calls, how many of those calls could you convert to $100? You might get on one of these calls, which I highly recommend doing this for free. You might get on one of these calls and you think you're talking about a 1 hour, $100 call, and you say something to them like, yeah, we'll talk on that call about me building your website for you. And they'll say, you know how to build a website? And you say, yeah, I do it for it costs $500. And I can do it in like 3 days. And they may skip right to that. So you got half of what you were looking for. Now, I know some people are shy. I know people are introverted. I know a lot of people have never done this before. But let me tell you something. A lot of your success, your momentum, and your money is on the other side of a phone call. There is a person that I follow who I heard him say once, he's made a lot of money. He said, if you have not had a one-on-one call with at least 30 people about your offer, you have no idea if the offer is good or not. You don't have enough data to test if it's good or not. So what I took that to say is, let me get on a call with 30 people about this offer. So if you think about it, you say, well, how do I sell this online? How do I sell this on Instagram or YouTube? How do I sell it? Don't sell it. Sell the call, the free call. Get people on the free call. Now, yes, you will have a lot of people who are wasting your time because they either are not ready for you or they're just going to ghost you because they like to be chaotic, or they don't have the money. They just don't have the money, but they thought maybe it's a good idea to try to get this free call. Okay, you're going to have to go through some of the mud to get to where you're going. You're going to have to go through some of it. It's just part of the process. Everybody that you know who's made money has gone through that. So don't think, oh, I can't do that because XYZ will happen. Well, of course it will happen. If that wouldn't happen, this would all be on autopilot. But if you can get through this, and if there's someone here who truly has 30 calls, then you can't help but to make money. No guarantees. Can't make guarantees on here about how much money people are going to make. But I'm going to tell you, if you get on 30, 15-minute calls about your offer, you're either going to learn that the offer sucks because nobody's interested. You're going to learn that the pricing is wrong, or you're going to learn that 3 people out of 30 said yes, and I just made $1,500. And if I made $1,500 because I sold 3 $500 things on 30 calls, that means that each call is worth $50. Did you catch that, math? Did you catch that? If I make, let me do that for you real quick. This is going to change the way you think about some things real quick here. If I have, let's say I have 10 free calls because I've posted on Instagram and Threads and LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'm just posting everywhere. And I say, I am doing clarity calls with people to talk about your website, to talk about your skincare, to talk about whatever your lane is, okay? Free calls. We're doing free 10-minute calls, free 15-minute calls, and you do 10 of those. And on that call, let's say that 8 of them, you make an offer. Okay, because maybe two of them, one didn't show, no show, and one you don't like. You just didn't like the conversation. So why would you want to take money from someone you don't like? 8, you make an offer. And of those 8, let's say that most of them are interested, but only 3 said yes. And in fact, you might have even had them pay for it on the call, but that's a different story. And let's say that they said yes, and one of them paid. Well, let's say this: one of them paid 500, and 2 paid 100 because of your different offers. Now, I suggest you try just doing the one offer, but let's say you had all 3 versions in your back pocket to talk about on the calls. That's $600. So you had 10 calls. And even with 7 people not being the right for the offer, you made $600. So what happens then? Well, if I see 10 free calls equals $600, anything that you miss here, just rewind and pause. If I'm seeing that in my scenario, 10 free calls equals $600, what does that mean? It means, and you tell me in the comments what does it mean. It means each call was worth $60. Each free call that I had for 15 minutes, what is that, 2.5 hours? So I made $600 in 2.5 hours of calls. And maybe it took me another 2.5 to book the calls. So it's about $100 an hour. But each call is worth $60. So what am I going to do? If I know that each call, regardless of if somebody says yes or no, is worth $60, what am I going to do? I'm going to have, let me tell you how many I'm going to have: 50, 11 calls. If you know, you know. I'm about to have 50, 11 calls, meaning I'm going to have as many calls as I can book for as long as I can stand it. Because if every call essentially boils down to $60, if I do 20 calls a week, I'm making $60,000 a year. And I don't even have to do this for a year. I could do this for a week. I could do this for a month. I could do this for 6 weeks. But if it's working, I'm gonna do it. And these calls, as a reminder, are calls to close what we did earlier. The VIP day or the done for you or the other calls. And you say, oh, they're already getting a call with me. Remember what I said earlier. These 10, 15-minute calls are just a little taste. It's like when you go to Costco or Sam's, get a little bit of sample, and you're like, yeah, I'll buy more. I like the way this tastes. That's what your customer's doing. You helped me for 15 minutes. We got to know each other. Yeah, I think 60 minutes with you would actually help me quite a bit. That's what's going on here. So this is what you're going to do. And then when you close them, you collect the money. You let them know transparently how long it's going to take. Let them know that before they pay, so that they have all the information that they're making. They're making it with the understanding that, it's going to take 2 weeks. It's going to take XYZ. You can even like pre-sell courses and things on Stan. You could pre-sell digital products. There's a lot of things you could do. Now, I'm not going to get into that in this video because there's so much rich information inside of your first 5K. And I really, really want you to join. If you haven't joined yet, what is stopping you? Let me know in the comments why you haven't joined, because that might help me. But 15,000 people have joined. Hundreds are joining every single day. So by the end of 2026, we could be looking close to 100,000 people in there. Okay, subscribe to this channel, go out and make $1,000 and come back and tell us how you did.